if it was Luke, I am your father, or no, I am your father, right?
Yep. And everyone says it differently, right?
All right. Hey, your Persona Universe. We're back for another episode 5 to be exact. Once again, we're hitting milestones here. We are about to introduce another woman who's near and dear to me onto this show. She is known for being in, certain strong plays and performances such as Miss Saigon and Once in This Island. I'm gonna bring her on right now. Her name is Andrea Samara. And
Hey!
Yeah! It's so good to
This is so
see you.
exciting. It's good to see you too.
Yeah, we're getting more girl power onto your persona, injected. Yeah, much needed. So, we alluded to your past performance history, so to speak. Miss Saigon. Let's talk about real briefly Miss Saigon. When did you do that? Like, what years were those, and where did you do that?
Oh my goodness. That was actually my first professional show I've ever done. It was like in 2012. So I was like
Wow.
in college, like I was like 19. But it was like a dream show for the longest
Yeah.
time. And I got to work with so many great people that have done it like on West End, Broadway, like the tour. And so I learned so much from them. And it
Yeah.
really just kind of like set the tone for like how I wanted my career to go and to like keep this like community of like strong and passionate Asian American actors. And
Yes.
it was an incredible opportunity. And I come back to it all the time. Like I reference it
Wow.
all the time, especially when like things get really hard, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
but that production just like set the tone for never giving up, and like I have a great family from it, and so yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome.
Wow, I didn't know it was all the way in 2000. I thought it was more recent. But okay, awesome. We learned something. And you said you're also in once in this island.
Yeah, Once at This Island, that was like back in like 2011. I think I just
Oh.
started college then.
Oh
It,
yes.
it
I remember seeing
yeah,
that. I remember seeing
that
that
was
when I would go. Yeah.
that was a lot of fun.
Okay. Well, which would you say
Very
you
cool
enjoyed
show.
more between like Miss Saigon and Once in This Island?
Oh my gosh, I that's really tough. I love them
Yeah.
both for different reasons. I worked with
Mm-hmm.
incredible people in both shows, like people that I still
Uh-huh.
call friends to this day.
Uh-huh.
But Miss Saigon definitely has a really special place in my heart, just because it was like the first like paying show I've ever done, and plus like the
Yeah.
people I got to meet, the like Asian American camaraderie, like it really created a sense of community and like support for me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Wow. I love it. I love it. As I mentioned, I've seen you on stage over the years, and I've seen you grow as a performer. And congratulations to that. That is. I mean, that's awesome to see that evolution.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot, especially
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
especially because right now during the lockdown.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I know now that the lockdown is starting to um, uh, come off, and we're seeing this through. I know that you'll be able to start getting back into production there. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing more of your shows.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. So then, the reason also that we're here is we're getting into another major topic as well, which is Star Wars. And I know I've had some previous guests on here, but your topic is going to be specifically about the top Star Wars women, your top 5 to be exact. So that's what makes this
Yep.
episode special. Cool. Alrighty. So with that in mind, we will start all the way from 5, going all the way to number 1, because we're gonna hype it up.
Ooh.
All right. So let's go with number 5 right now.
So my number 5 has to be Ahsoka Tano.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yes. She is
she is
awesome.
a total baddie. But just like, so I'm gonna be totally frank right now. I haven't watched Clone Wars and I know that's like a big thing, but like
That's okay.
I
That's okay. Yeah.
I watch everything
I
else, but Clone Wars is the one that I'm like, that's a lot of information in like
yeah.
one show.
Well, and they just
Um,
added the seventh season, so it's yeah. But I
yeah, so
recommend it
it's a
when you
lot.
get to you'll
Oh,
you'll enjoy it when you do.
absolutely. I will definitely get to it. But
Yeah.
yes, Ahsoka Tano. But she's my number five because I haven't watched Clone Wars. But I'm sure when I watch it, she's definitely gonna make it up that list. But her, I mean, my love for her is pretty much solely based on The Mandalorian, and I'm an actress, so I'm very much like particular to how actors play these roles. And so Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka just gave me the sense of like just female empowerment and like just the way she moves is so graceful but so strong, and she has such a conviction to her that I just totally connect with and fall in love with every time I watch. So yes, she's my number five.
Yeah. Yeah. And the cool part is that when you do check out Clone Wars, you'll get to see Ahsoka's journey because she starts off as
Hmm.
a teen or even a child, and then all the way to the Ahsoka that we see in the Mandalorian. So you're gonna enjoy that a
Right.
lot.
Yeah.
Cool. That that's good to hear. Your number five. So let's hear your number four.
My number four is Rey. Um, and she's my number four because she is what a very strongly written character, and I really appreciate that those that trilogy of films was very much very female driven with her in mind. I love that she
Yes.
doesn't start off as like, I don't know, she starts off as like this normal girl making her way through the galaxy and like trying to make it work for her. And so she's scrappy, and she knows that there's so much more to life than just like what she's doing. And like it's just so fun to see her journey and her discovering who she is. And I think Daisy Ridley is such an amazing find, and I'm
Yes.
really excited to see where her career goes. So that is my number four. I love Ray.
Yeah, she fits well, definitely into the Star Wars universe.
My number three is Fennec Shand from The Mandalorian. And I was kind of toggling between her as my number one or my number three because
Oh,
I
okay.
she's such a she's such a small character, but oh my gosh, she is just so cool and just
Yes.
so strong, and like, and it's just so
She's a,
fun to see her in that gunslinger episode and to be like,
yes.
oh my god, like she's like the bounty, you know, she's the one
Yeah.
that they want. And then like she's just super like kind of manipulative, like the way she manipulates Toro into being like, oh, you want the Mandalorian, you know, he's way more valuable than me. And then like, and then you see her. Can I? This is gonna be like people understand there's gonna be spoilers in this podcast,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. They know. They know.
Okay, okay.
We'll even put that out there, guys. So, you know, if you haven't seen the Mandalorian season 1 and 2, you know, go watch it before you continue with this
Right.
episode.
Okay, awesome. Glad we put that
Yeah,
out there.
we've cleared that out.
But anyway, when she gets shot and then Boba Fett comes back and, you know, fixes her up, and she comes back, and, you know, it's just so cool to see how she is just, you know, you see her super just strong and sharp and like quick-witted right away. And I love that you have a character that just comes out and is like, I'm a woman and I'm smarter and cooler than all the rest of you men. So she's my number three. And
Yeah.
also Ming Na Wen, Mulan.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Like
Yes.
she's amazing. And I can't believe she's 50. Like
Yeah, she doesn't look
that's
50 at all. She
insane.
looks like she's in her
No,
30s. Yeah,
yeah.
she's
So she's goals for me for sure. I
yeah.
want to be just like her. So
And
yes,
and
number
and
three,
you're
Fennec
aware she was
Shand.
also in Agents of Shield, right?
She was. That's
She had
right.
a big part in that too. That also boosted her career even more. So 7 seasons worth of
Yeah,
that.
she's
Uh,
awesome.
she is.
My number two is definitely Rose Tycho from
Ah,
yeah, from the last three movies, played by the incredible Kelly Marie Tran. And
yes.
she's not necessarily my favorite because I think she's written well. I
Mm-hmm.
actually think Star Wars did her a disservice with that character, the role and the character a disservice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I speak for myself and a lot of like the American community. We were super, super excited to finally have like a strong female Asian American character in the universe. And like, I think there was a part of me when I watched her and I was just kind of like, I wish she was more badass. I don't know, like it sounds
Yeah.
weird to say. Like
Yeah.
I would, yeah. There was just something about it, and it wasn't like the way she played her or anything. And on top of that, like the like racism that she faced, like on social media, and
Yeah.
that was just not okay. But anyway, what Rose represents to me is sort of just a like I don't know this transition and this hope that someday we will see more characters of color. I mean, we already see so many characters of color in the Star Wars universe, but that we'll see more story arcs and more characters that look like what America looks like, you know? Like it's such a melting
Yes.
pot of different cultures and backgrounds.
Yes.
And I think Star
Mixes.
Wars is already doing that, and I hope that it
Yes.
does more of that. And so that's what Rose signifies for me. And even though I didn't love the way she was written necessarily, seeing
Hmm.
her on screen gave me this like sense of empowerment, and it just gave me chills because I was like, that girl looks like me, and that girl looks like so
Yes.
many other young Asian girls, and if she's doing it, then I can do it too. And so that's why she's my number two. Like, not necessarily because I love the character, but because there is someone that looks
The,
like me in the Star Wars universe. So
that beacon of hope.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I agree with that. All right. Oh, and we're gonna put a drum roll here. Yeah.
I bet
So
you can guess
now
my number one.
you're number one. You're number one. Well, I might have a few guesses, but it's still not the same as it coming straight from the source. So let's
Of
hear your
course.
number one.
Obviously, Leia. Big surprise.
Ah,
And
yes. Princess
like
backslash General Leia.
backslash General Leia. And I mean, there are like 1,001 reasons why she's my number one.
Yes.
But I think the biggest reason why is because she's she's the OG, she's the one that started it all for all of the women in the Star Wars universe. Like, because not
Yes.
only like was she, Princess Leia, but she was like Princess badass Leia. She
Yeah.
was already smart. She already like
Yeah.
had a plan. She already had a vision. And it didn't take her being a damsel in distress. Like she got saved, obviously,
Yeah.
from Jabba the Hutt, but she looked super hot, but whatever. That was awesome. But anyway, but she was already so strong and so determined and like had so much conviction already as a character. And
Yeah.
she was kind of like the predecessor of a lot of what these female Star Wars characters are now. And so she's kind of like the godmother of it all. And
That's right. Sorry,
R.I.P.
sorry,
Carrie
Padme
Fisher.
Amidala.
I
Yeah.
mean, I love Padme too. Don't get me wrong, but
but Princess Leia,
Leia,
General Leia, the original.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. R.I.P. Carrie Fisher. Love you. But
yes. Rest in peace, Carrie
yeah.
Fisher. And so soon. I was amazed how they were able to wrap up her story arc. I know they were originally saying that they weren't going to kill her character off, but in a way they did in Rise of Skywalker
Mhm.
with the old footage because they said they were just gonna
Yes,
retire her, but I believe that they ended up last minute deciding that they're just gonna retire her by killing her gracefully.
exactly. And that was, I
Yeah.
think that was a beautiful way to sort of honor her legacy, and not
Yes.
like a super flashy, like dramatic, like the quiet moments and like the gracefulness of it. I think really really closed it out really well. So.
Plus the mother's love redeemed her son. Kylo Ren
Hmm.
became Ben Solo from that moment. So that's
Yep.
also that good transition right there. Great
Yep.
transition. Awesome. So we've heard all of your top fives, and this is usually the part of the episode. And I loved your top fives. They were very strong top fives. And when you sent me the list, off screen here, I looked at them. And I'm like, yeah, I even meant that. I go, that's a sweet list. um,
I mean, they're sweet characters. They did a good
Yeah,
job writing great characters.
yeah. Uh, this is the part of the episode where we what we call flip the script, and where we let the I let the guest take the wheel, drive the episode, so to speak. So this is your chance to interview me, and the topic that we're gonna go off of is still Star Wars. We'll go off my
Mhm.
top 5 Star Wars moments. So with that in mind, the ball is now yours, Andrea.
All right.
Yeah.
Can I use my cool podcast voice?
Yes, absolutely. Please do.
I mean, I don't really have a cool podcast voice, but anyway.
No, you're already used.
So,
In a way, you're already using it. It's already. All
alrighty.
right.
So,
I'm excited.
Reneir, for this
Yes.
segment of Flip the Script, I and our listeners would love to know what your top 5 favorite Star Wars moments are.
Awesome.
Let's start with number 5.
Cool. Thank you, Andrea. So my number 5 is when we're first introduced to Luke Skywalker in A New Hope. In the like he's so like white meat baby face, a very young Mark Hamill. We see him on the farm with his Aunt Beru and Aunt Lars for the very first time, and that for me, that's what started everything for me in Star Wars, and he resonates with me because um, I saw him. I saw that episode or episode 4, or technically that movie, when I was probably about, I'd say 14, for about 14 years old. It
Oh my
really like
god.
being able to see the journey from a boy to a man in that sense, and all the struggles he went through. That was very relatable for me. So that is
I
why it's my number. Go ahead.
I feel like Luke Skywalker was such a like icon for a lot of boys at that time to kind of be like, because
Yes.
he wasn't, like the Luke Skywalker that we saw at the end of Mandalorian. He was just a
No.
boy, finding
Yeah.
his way, like figuring out who he is. And that was such a cool thing to see at that time, I feel like. That's a great
Yes.
moment. I'm glad you picked that moment.
Yes. I appreciate that. Yeah, and he's very much his journey is very similar to Ahsoka's journey in some ways. Getting the
Right.
chance to see like how Ahsoka grew from a young girl to teenager to the Ahsoka we see in the Mandalorian. So strong and
Hmm.
confident, same with Luke.
Yeah.
By the way, when we see Luke in this is an honorable mention since we're on that subject. When we see him in the Mandalorian, that's Luke in his prime, like absolute
Hmm.
prime. Because obviously the Luke we see in like the 3 trilogies is like he's old.
Isn't that interesting though that we never got a chance to see him in his prime. So it was
No,
like at the end, that final episode, you were just kind of like, oh my gosh, you realize that you never saw him like as
no,
Jedi Luke Skywalker,
it's just
And
jump.
so yeah, and so I hope in season 3 of The Mandalorian we'll get to see that more of,
Yes,
what he's capable of and what he can do. So,
yes,
yeah.
a lot of fans are clamoring for that because you're right.
Mhm.
There is this gap in between, so for
Mhm.
a lot of stories to be told.
Yep. All
I'm
right.
hoping, yeah, I'm hoping that he does well with Grogu there. That's where we
I
left
do
off.
too. All right, Rainier, what's your number
Cool.
4?
My number 4 is when Luke. It continues on the Luke journey here for a hot minute. Is when he's carrying Yoda on his back in Dagobah in Empire Strikes Back. It's such a cute moment, and at the same time, it's such a and this is where we can use on here. It's such a badass moment. That's like my first foray into something in movies being badass and cute at the same time.
Yep.
So, and then he went into the cave with where he saw Darth Vader, but it really was an illusion of him, what he could become, so that he had to
Yep.
face himself in a way. So that's why that moment resonates with me, because I've had those moments in my life where I've had to face myself. Um, and it's always going to be, in life, that's always going to be that ongoing deal for all of us, where we're facing ourself or a version of ourselves.
Of course.
Um,
Of course.
yeah. So that's my number 4. In that.
Awesome. Real quick, did you also
Yeah.
rewatch the original trilogy like during quarantine?
I've been watching clips of it, because I've
Hmm.
seen the original trilogy so many times in different versions, like the special edition, the Lucas edition.
Of course. Like, because my fiance and I, we did like all
Yes.
of like the big like franchises, like Avengers, X-Men, all of that, and we did Star Wars as well. So it's just so fun to see, like as an adult, you notice all of those little details that they put in, and the things that kind of make your heart go, oh, like that's such a great image, of Luke carrying Yoda on his back, just like little things like
Yes.
that you didn't
Yes.
necessarily feel as a child, but like when you watch it again, you're just like, that is such a great moment. And I'm so glad they kind of like ran with that, like for the Mandalorian. But anyway, you're number
No,
3.
yeah, because it's we've had all these experiences since we were kids and then teenagers, and now as
Hmm.
young adults and adults, it's like those experiences make a difference. That's why certain things we rewatch it resonates differently.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. So yeah, um, that was my number 4.
Awesome. All right, your number 3 moment.
Yes. So now we're moving to another OG character, Han Solo. Han Solo. So there's a great debate about what really Han Solo really said in this scene, uh, and his catchphrase. But to me, he has a catchphrase, and I hear it as "Hold me, baby, hold together." When he's in the Millennium Falcon and he's going through the Kessel Run. He's done it a couple times, but I believe or at least he's going through the asteroid field, referring to the Kessel Run, which was featured in Solo, a Star Wars story. But he says something like "Hold me, baby, hold together." Yeah, and to others, some people hear like "Chewie, hold me together" or something like that. But for me, for the sake of this episode, it's "Hold me, baby, hold together." It sounds so much cooler to me. But yeah, and then Harrison Ford, the way he it's just such calm confidence, even when Leia's giving him a hard time.
Hmm.
You'll never make it through. Never tell me the odds. And
Yep.
she goes, I'll see you fail. I'm gonna see you fail. And obviously he does fail. There's another honorable mention of a scene where he gets frozen in carbonite, and then that's when she admits
Yep.
that she loves him. But that's a story on its own. But back to that smooth, cool confidence that I relate with. Um,
Hmm.
and that's something I've applied to my personality overall, and the multiple sides of me, like that it's just like when I feel the heat of a moment, just hold me, baby, hold together, and just it will turn out, type of a deal. So that's why it's my
Yep.
number 3.
WWHD. What would Han do?
Yes. Yes. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna start using that. WWHD. I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that's my
That was so
number.
lame.
Yeah,
3.
that's my number 3.
Awesome. Yeah, Han Solo. Just what a guy, right?
He is.
What a guy.
And while we're on the subject, like once again another honorable mention. This is cool. We can do this too. So, I solo a Star Wars
A
story.
Star Wars story.
Yeah, I liked it. It's very hard not to have like the original Han Solo, like not to have Harrison Ford. The new actor, I mean, like he did well. It's just it it just was so ingrained for 30 years that it's Harrison Ford, so it made it a lot harder to. I believe that's why that movie didn't resonate as much with a lot of people, because the story was pretty good. Um, have you seen Solo?
I
A Star Wars?
did. And
Yeah.
'cause I totally agree. Han Solo is such an icon. And Harrison Ford, just like he does no wrong, right? Like he
Yes.
does everything so well. Him, Indiana Jones. But
Yes.
I like that Alden
I think
Einrich.
it's
Is
Alden.
that I
Heydrich.
think it's
Yeah.
Alden. I'm gonna look that up really quick.
Okay. I think he's also
Um
Australian too. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken.
Alden Ehrenreich, is that him? Yes, Alden
Yeah.
Ehrenreich. I like because I actually really liked that movie, and I think it's also because I went in with expectations of not liking it because it was so like not well received. But I
Yes.
did like that he didn't try to be Harrison Ford.
Yes.
I like that he did his own thing, you know, that he did his own way of playing cool Han Solo, but also like he's still young, so there's so many
Yeah.
moments where you see him like totally unsure of certain things and like trying to trust his instincts, but his instincts get
Yeah.
him wrong. And I loved his relationship with Donald Glover as Lando. That it was so fun to see them together and to see the rapport because they were just so fun together. And so I actually liked it, and I
Yeah.
liked him. But I also saw him in Warm. It was like a zombie movie or a
Oh, he
vampire movie.
was
Yeah, I oh my gosh, I don't remember.
Alden.
This was a long time ago. Yes,
Wow.
but I loved him
Okay.
in that movie. I will Beautiful Creatures. He was in the
Oh, beautiful
movie
creature. I'll
Beautiful
check that
Creatures.
out. I'm gonna check that out. So
Yes,
he's in there. Okay.
yes,
Because
he's the
I want to
lead
see
in
it.
that, and I thought he was great. But yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
I love Donald
cool.
Glover too. Donald
Yeah, he's
Glover's a
awesome.
comedian, by the way,
Yes,
on that side, and a rapper
comedian,
apparently.
musician. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's incredible. I love him.
he's so talented too. So yeah, that's my number three. And
Perfect. And your number two. This is a good list, Rainier.
thank you.
It's making these moments and being like, oh my gosh, that was such a good moment.
Yes, and that's the intent of like why this show exists in the first place, so we can relive this, you know, together.
Of course, it's awesome.
Number two, yeah, is when the reveal, and the reveal I'm talking about, and it's been used in commercials, but they've obviously done some post production work with it. I am your father. So once again, there's a little bit of a debate of if it was Luke, I am your father, or no, I am your father, right?
Yep. And everyone says it differently, right? Because
Yeah,
everyone says like, Luke, I am your father, but it's not that in the
yeah,
movie. It's like it's yeah. He says it differently, but yes, there is a debate with that as
yes.
well.
At the end of the day, though, we know that there's that I am your father. That there's been no debate about that. It's just the no if it's
Exactly.
no or Luke.
Or Luke, yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And that resonates with me because I've had those kind of moments with my own father. I obviously I've known he's my father throughout my lifetime in this sense, but like there have been like these I'm your father moments with my my father will let me know like I can't think of any off the top of my head, but like I just know the feeling of like oh so you do know this type of a deal.
Right.
Got it. So
Yeah.
that type of a deal. So that's why that resonates with me so much.
Yeah. That
So
that was such a I mean, because everyone knew like I didn't watch the when it came out, right? Like
hmm
but so I already
me
knew
either.
like what happened and that Darth Vader was Luke's father, but it doesn't change the like reaction you have to it because it's
No.
just oh, the way they shot that and just the
Yeah.
build up to it and you're just like it just kind of takes your breath away, right? Because you're like
Right.
what an incredibly shocking but like a moment of like air, right? Where you're just like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
what a way to flip the script here.
And
And
that
yeah.
moment is transcendent, right? I believe that's what
Mhm.
you're getting. It's like it just transcends
Yeah.
generations and time. Like it doesn't get old.
Mhm.
Is it?
Never.
Yeah, I'm like,
Never.
wow.
And you when you rewatch it, you wait for that moment, right? You're just like,
Yeah,
okay,
like here it
okay,
comes, here it comes, here it
here it comes. You
comes,
stop
here it comes. You guys ready? You
everything
guys
and
ready?
you watch it. Yep. Oh,
Oh man.
great moment. My God.
Oh,
Woo.
that's whew. So that's my number two.
Mhm.
Um, and so we will put a drum roll right here. Yeah, we are ready for the number one. You ready, Andrea?
I am
Okay.
so ready.
Okay. Here we go. All right. I'll admit that it's a dual uh number one kind of, like a two moments in one, if I may. It's the redemption of Darth Vader, and now the other one is now eluding my mind. The second one, the pressure's on. I can feel it. Actually, the other one is more of one of the newer moments. It's when Rey becomes a Skywalker. So those two
Amazing.
moments put together, because those are both very climactic moments in what they call the Skywalker saga. Well, one moment was
Hmm.
supposed to end the Skywalker saga originally. I
Right.
don't think there was really a plan. Like, I think George Lucas had a script, but I don't think in his mind it was going to get made.
Right.
And I think,
Right.
and even episodes 7 through 9, the newer ones,
Hmm.
uh, I think they were still somewhat rewritten from the original, you know. So let's not be surprised if we get a hashtag George Lucas cut, like they did the Zack Snyder cut for
Like the
Justice
Zack
League.
Snyder cut. Oh my
Yeah,
god. Did you
I can
watch it
see
by
fans
did you
doing
watch it
that.
by the way?
I did. It was very good. It was very good
I
from
loved it.
a yeah. I just wish it was in widescreen. It was hurting my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they said that's
Yeah.
part of Zach's creative vision.
His original vision. Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, I loved it.
I loved it
Anyway.
too. So the redemption moment, it's that the one half of my number one, when Luke takes off the mask,
Mm.
and in certain versions, like the newer versions, they made it, they CGI'd Hayden Christensen replacing the
Mhm.
original actor, but it still doesn't take away from the moment. Is it's just like that father and son moment. Finally, they've struggled, they've battled. There was even the darkest temptation of coming from Palpatine, because there's usually an
Yeah.
outside external factor as well besides ourselves, tempting.
Of course.
Like, and they overcame it for that moment, that father and son moment.
Mhm.
And that's something I relate with, because my father and I have had those moments as well over in this short lifetime of redemption, and
Yeah.
looking for those moments again continually with my own father is something that I continually strive for, and that is what that moment in Star Wars history is what I model it after. That
Mhm.
we can uh, be so off the cusp, but then still be redeemable in that sense,
Of
as long as
course.
both sides want it.
But you're talking about when Darth Vader takes off his mask, right? And he goes, "I
At
want to look at you with my own eyes." At the end of
Yes.
episode. Okay.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, I stand corrected. I thought I keep thinking in my mind that it was Luke that took off his mask, but yeah, I stand corrected. It was one way or another.
Oh wait.
Vader's mask came out.
Yeah. Luke takes off
Ye-
Vader's mask. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
but by
Yes.
request of Anakin. Technically, at that time,
Yes.
he becomes Anakin again. There we go. We got it correct.
Yes.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Yeah, because once again, see, it's like that. Like we remember things, at certain way. Like Luke, I'm your father, or no, I'm your father.
Luke,
But
or
we're
no,
remembering
I am
like
your
who took
father.
off the mask.
Yeah. Who took off the mask? Yes.
Yeah.
That is correct though. Yes.
Yeah, there was a request, and then Luke took it off. So now we're on the
Yes.
same page. So that was such a tender moment, because the moments preceding that, like he was getting Darth Vader was electrocuting us, or Emperor Palpatine was electrocuting his son, and then Darth Vader was
Mhm.
was watching this happen, and then
Yep.
he had this epiphany, like, I'm gonna become Anakin again, and um, allegedly kill Palpatine, even
Yeah.
though they retconned it and brought him back to life, but at
Mhm.
that time he was dead.
Yeah. At that
So
time.
yeah, just like how they retconned Darth Maul. The spoiler alert. But I'm sure you've
Yep.
seen this before. Like, Darth Maul lives on through the Clone Wars, so
Yes.
that's
Did see
not a
that.
spoiler. He wasn't supposed to. He wasn't supposed to. But he's such a, once again, badass character that the fans clamored for him, and I agree.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so that's the one half of why it's a tender moment with the Luke and now the redeemed Anakin before he passes away. And
Yep.
the second is with Rey.
Mhm.
Um, and having that end the entire Star Wars saga with all the 9 episodes, and including the animated series with like Clone Wars, and also I highly recommend checking out Rebels, because if you
Mhm.
like Ahsoka for who she is now, um, you get a chance to see that version of Ahsoka in Rebels. She pops up every now and then, and she shows her commander side, and I love it.
Right. Love it.
So
Definitely check it out.
yeah. Um, is seeing Rey bury her, I think it was Anakin's lightsabers into the sand for someone else to find, and then she created her own yellow lightsabers. The double, I think was it double bladed? It was double bladed, or it was dual lightsabers. Once again, it goes back to like, what do I remember? Like it was.
I think it was dual, or
like
no,
Darth
double
Maul?
bladed.
Like Darth Maul, right?
Yeah.
And it was definitely yellow, which I love. I love that.
Yes.
Because the different colors represent something else, but like the yellow was showing that like, hey, I'm just gonna do my own thing, and that I support. So that's my top 5.
Love it. That's such a great list.
Yeah,
and like,
thank you.
Oh, that moment with Rey, I think I only saw that last movie once. Because the kiss just drives me insane.
In a good way or in a bad way? Okay, yeah, because like I couldn't tell from like
moment. But anyway, I won't get into that. But just that moment of her, this is who I am and this is who I choose to be is so powerful.
Yes,
because letting a woman have that choice is just it's such a powerful moment. So such a good list.
And I support that. That's why it's in my number 1 for sure. Well, we've covered your top 5 Star Wars characters that are women. We've covered my top 5 Star Wars moments. Thank you for interviewing me there, Andrea. So
of course.
So we've come to the part of the episode where can they if you're comfortable sharing this, where can they find you on socials?
So you can find me on the Instagram at Andrea Dawn Samera. That's Andrea Andrea, Dawn DAWN, and then SOMERA. I'm sure you'll probably write that in the description. And that's pretty much all I'm on right now.
Okay.
Social media is not my favorite thing. So I'm just on Instagram. So you can find me there. I usually post some like singing videos and stuff. And my theater work. So thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. And then you can find Your Persona at Facebook at the handle yourpersona.blue. Currently, that may change because just recently rebranded Your Persona Blue to just Your Persona. And on YouTube, you can just search for Your Persona because YouTube's links are very dynamic. They don't let you customize it.
YouTube.com/AXNW. No.
Yeah, question mark, exclamation point. I don't know why. They say you have to reach a certain, level to have a custom, well, how am I going to reach that level if people can't find me?
Right,
That's the deal there. So, cool. All right. So, also, a quick reveal for the audience as we wrap up is that for those of you that haven't figured it out yet, Andrea and I were also related by family. She is my cousin, my first cousin, and I've been wanting to work alongside with her for the longest time, at least a decade, ever since I've seen her on stage starting in 2010. So that's what makes this episode so special. And with that in mind, and I wanted to put an invite back out there. I've had such a great time, and I'm not just saying this, for you to come back in the future, perhaps later this year, and we'll have another topic to go over then. We'll continue on the Star Wars, but like another specific topic, so to speak.
I would love to do that. I would be so honored. This was so much fun.
Yes. I love that. I love it. All right. So here's how we wrap. We have a catchphrase here. It is a combination of hooray and hoorah, Baby Yoda. We've got a guest. Looks so real. Grogu. What's up, Grogu? Yes. And shout out to your fiance, right? Because you shared with me that he got that for you. He
did.
Yes.
Because he also loves The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Just like me.
And then, and I love The Mandalorian too. I can't wait for season 3. I believe it's coming out later this year. Oh man. And then the second half of the catchphrase is "Ura," which is a military battle chant, which I also support. I'm a big fan of the military, more specifically the soldiers that sacrifice for the families. So if we put that together, hooray and "Ura," we get "Hoorah." So what we've been doing here to wrap up is I usually count down with the 3, 2, 1, and then together we say "Hoorah" and "Good night," and then we let the audience be.
Awesome.
All right, so I'm gonna count it down. 3, 2, 1. Hoorah! Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
I struggle through the worst of it. I can see the curtain lift. The moment's there, but somehow I get stuck. Never learn from this. Thinking it's for certain, but somehow it resurfaces. It seems I'm always searching in my curse to always circle this. You finally reach the end, but then you lose your friends. And I can just pretend, man, I feel I never win. I'm a failure, man. At least that's what they're telling you. Times I still believe it, have to fight it on the regular.